Okay, so today I am here to talk about the method of smoking. This is an informative speech that is talking about all the ways that you can actually smoke meat and do it at your own home. You can smoke whatever kind of meat, cheese, vegetable. Well, actually, you can't smoke many vegetables because a lot of the smoke doesn't penetrate the vegetable, but you can smoke fruit. I've smoked pineapple before. Smoked pineapple is great. And any herbs such as such as paprika and oregano. You could even smoke rosemary if you wanted to. You can do everything with it. And what I have here is my little chart, basically, of how you can smoke your own meats. I got one right here, which is one that I portrayed from school. It is an electric box smoker with a little temperature time control that you can change to whatever you want. Now, the real three things you really need in order to smoke something is you need wood chips, you need ventilation, and you need containment. And containment, you don't really need containment, honestly, because whenever you have containment, you can let smoke rise from something and then still penetrate the product. I got this little flower pot demonstration here too, and it's talking about where the heat source is at, and where the heat source is where the induction burners are. And the induction burner is where you can control your temperature, and the way you do that is that you have this little thermometer, and you always want it to be kept 225 degrees to 250 degrees at all times for as long as you want to smoke something. Like pulled pork. If you wanted to smoke a 12-pound pork shoulder, it would probably take you about 12 hours. And it takes you 12 hours because each pound is an hour to the amount of time you're smoking. And I got here another demonstration of grilling. If you have a gas grill, then you may be able to put your wood chips right where the burners are and get your little thermometer, make sure that it's at 225 degrees, and be sure to keep your product away from the smoke. You don't want the smoke to penetrate it fully because you don't want any woody bitterness that happens. How that happens is your wood is really just too close to the meat. Whenever your wood's too close to the meat, it creates more induction and it keeps it burning. And as it keeps burning, it'll create that nasty bitterness that we just really don't want. Right here is a demonstration of a pit. Now, a pit was what we used in Homo sapien times, and we also used it during slave times. And as for slave times, they always built their own little pit, or they'd get garden forks and actually start to put the meat right towards it, and they wouldn't touch it for hours. As far as Homo sapiens go, this was the easiest way that they could actually cook products. And the reason being is because they didn't know exactly what fire was and how it actually worked, so they knew how to cook meat. And as soon as they learned how to cook meat, they were like, all right, well, we can just go ahead and keep this meat over this smoke for hours ahead, and you'll be able to create your own succulent product. Right here, I have another type of smoke pit, and this is like if you were doing it like a box. If you wanted to actually smoke a 300-pound pig, you would need two people in order to rotate it, and you would also need your induction. As far as by the way, smoking is induction. It's not, it's away from the heat, but it's also trying to cut down all those nasty collagens that are in the meat. Collagens are developed in all of our muscles, no matter what, living or dead. As far as plants go, there might be some collagens to break down in there, but you can smoke pineapple and all kinds of fruit. Um, Now charcoal grill. Charcoal grill, I feel, is the most difficult part of smoking ever because what you're doing is you're still trying to keep the heat away from the meat. And whenever you're keeping your heat away from the meat, you can't control the temperature of it. You actually have to keep an eye on it for a really long time. These are all techniques that are all in containment, but whenever as far as containment goes, we we don't know the ideas that we can actually have from keeping the smoke away from the meat at all times. Those little pits, those made the most tender meat ever. All the time. I don't know why. It's, all the smoke gets to it somehow, and it just you flip it, and then it's done. Um, Now, yes, you can smoke cheese. Cheese is amazing when it's smoked. I love fresh Gouda smoked cheese. You, these are all the steps that you can use in order to have in your backyard and have the perfect barbecue. The most effective way? You gotta figure it out. It's whatever you're used to. I already figured out what I'm used to. So have your own barbecue.